All right, go ahead.
So it's coming up on spring, which here in the Midwest is thunderstorm season. And just today, I went to use a power strip that I had in the box, and I flipped it over, and there was a big black mark on the back. It reminded me of something. So I thought I'd quickly, let's see if I can share. You have to hit it twice. There, power strip, boom. Now you're seeing that, right? Um, so this is a good time of year to pick up your power strips and give them a little sniff. You might be surprised what you smell in your power strip, and look for black marks on the back. And I was reminded of this because last July, my wife said, "Hey, one of the outside lights isn't working," and it hadn't been working for a couple of weeks. And anyway, long story short, there was a circuit breaker blown in the box, and I flipped the breaker back on, and it immediately blew. I flipped it back on and it immediately blew, right? 20 amp breaker was just blowing, right? And that was the reason the outdoor lights were off. So this led me to find this power strip. And I generally like these power strips, the kind that are, made out of a metal box, right? And have 3 duplex outlets in them. That's a nice way to build a power strip. This one also has a surge protector inside it. And when I flipped it over and looked at the back, you can see the
oh, wow.
metal oxide varistor, the move there gave its life for the and when this one failed, it failed shorted, which is why the circuit breaker was blowing. And I could smell it once I picked the thing up. And ironically, the real irony of this story is this power strip was like 3 feet away from the breaker panel. and of course, I didn't find it until I disconnected the whole rest of the house and worked, all the way back to the outlet right at the breaker panel before I realized it was the power strip. And if I just picked the thing up and sniffed it, I would have avoided all that. And what reminded me of this incident was today, another power strip. I picked it out of the box, and again, there was this black soot all over the back that you can see there, and the black soot had snuck out the mounting holes. And then I knew enough to open it up. And if you look closely, you can even see this is the copper foil traces that have been blown right off this PCB. This is some sort of, protection circuit. And there's 2 varistors in there, and this one survived, but that one just blew right up. And the moral of the story, too, I guess, then is that, let's see, how do I stop that? Stop sharing. There's something I didn't quite understand about these metal oxide varistors is that that are in anything with surge suppression. Right up, straight up power strip, you don't have to worry. But anything with that's claims to be a surge suppressor, these things apparently accumulate what I'd call scar tissue over their lives. Like if there's a marginal lightning strike, 12 houses away, when they suppress that, they also accumulate damage, and they get to a point through this accumulation of damage where they start to heat up. And the way these things behave is once they hit a certain temperature, it goes into thermal runaway. And what you're seeing here is either one of 2 things. We don't know which. It could have been like a direct hit, a strike or a near strike that just blew it up. But you'd think it would have blown up both of them, and it only blew up one of the 2 in that one of the strips. So it could just be that one of them accumulated scar tissue and got to the point where it went into thermal runaway and blew itself up. So anyway, just the public service announcement, good time of year to check anything that says surge suppressors on it and watch for damage. That's it.
Do you know if it's typical for the MOV to fail closed like that?
So I have a data point of 2 samples, and one failed closed and one is still open.
Interesting, because it looked like if in that first power strip you showed that if it did fail open, things would continue to work, but it would not be protected, and you would never know. So
exactly, that's an excellent point. I should have.
I'm wondering if perhaps they're designed to fail closed in order to do that, but I don't know. So that's another riddle that I don't know the answer to.
Yeah. Once they go into thermal runaway, I think it'd be pretty hard to guarantee any outcome. It's fireworks.
Other than the sniff test and the telltale black scorch marks, any other detection tips or inspection tips, maybe?
Maybe listen. I don't know. Yeah. Well, and if you have a breaker popping, that's kind of easy, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, great. Thanks for the tip, and thanks for the public service announcement.
Sure.